Listen, let me tell you something real, something most people don't want to say out loud. If you keep attracting the wrong man, it's not because you're not worthy, it's not because you're not beautiful, and it's definitely not because love isn't meant for you. Sometimes it's because you haven't learned how to protect the part of you that gives the most of your heart. See, a wrong man can smell unhealed wounds from a mile away. A man who ain't right for you loves a woman who doubts herself. He loves a woman who overgives, overproves, and overstays. Because he knows he doesn't have to show up as a real man, he just has to show up enough. You keep attracting the wrong man because you keep choosing from a place of loneliness, not purpose. When you choose from loneliness, anybody looks like love. When you choose from desperation, attention feels like affection. When you choose from fear, the bare minimum feels like effort. Let me break this down for you, because a lot of people don't understand this. The reason you keep attracting the wrong man is not because there's something wrong with you. It's not because you're too much or not enough. No, the reason you attract the wrong man is that you're making your choices from a place of loneliness instead of purpose. See, loneliness is a dangerous place to operate from. Loneliness will cloud your judgment. It will blur the lines between what's right and what's convenient. And it will make you desperate for attention that feels like love but isn't. When you choose from loneliness, you're looking for comfort, not compatibility. You're looking for someone to fill a void inside of you rather than someone who complements the life you've built. And I promise you, when you choose from that place, the wrong man will always find you because he's hunting for someone exactly like you. A woman who feels incomplete, a woman who doubts her worth, a woman who will accept crumbs instead of a feast. Think about it. When you're lonely, every text feels like validation, every call feels like affection, and every small gesture feels like commitment. You convince yourself, maybe he's not perfect, but he's something. And something is the problem. A wrong man doesn't have to show up fully. He doesn't have to invest in your life, in your heart, or in your future. He just has to be there enough to stop you from feeling alone. That's how loneliness makes you blind. It lowers your standards and makes the bare minimum feel like a masterpiece. And when you keep doing this, you're not attracting love, you're attracting a lesson over and over again. That lesson is simple. If you keep choosing from loneliness, the wrong man will keep showing up because he knows you'll settle. He knows you'll stay. He knows you won't walk away even when it's obvious he's not what you deserve. But when you choose from purpose, it changes everything. Purpose is powerful. Purpose means you're standing in your own life fully, loving yourself, pursuing your dreams, building your confidence, and knowing what you want and what you won't tolerate. Purpose makes a wrong man uncomfortable because he can't play his usual games. Purpose means you're not available for anyone who doesn't match your energy, who doesn't align with your vision, who doesn't respect your time, your space, or your heart. When you operate from purpose, you're sending a clear message to the universe. I am not desperate. I am not lonely. I am full, I am strong, and I will not settle for less than what I deserve. And guess what? That's exactly when the right man starts noticing you. Because the right man is looking for someone who has their life together, someone who knows their worth, someone who will not compromise on the love they deserve. Here's what most women don't get. They don't realize that their emotional availability is like a beacon. If you're desperate and lonely, that beacon signals to the wrong men that they can come in, take your time, take your energy, take your love, and leave you wondering why you didn't see it coming. But when you are full, when you are whole, when you operate from a place of purpose, that same beacon signals something completely different. It signals to the right man that you are a prize, that you are not just available, you are selective, that you have standards, boundaries, and self-respect. And when that happens, the wrong man can't stay in your life. He doesn't know how to handle a woman who has purpose. He doesn't know how to handle a woman who chooses herself first. And that's exactly how you finally stop attracting the wrong man and start attracting the right one. Listen, this is something a lot of women don't understand, and it's costing them their peace, their happiness, and even the chance to meet the right man. If you keep attracting the wrong man, one big reason is that you haven't set clear boundaries. Now hear me carefully. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are standards. Boundaries are the line in the sand that says, this is what I will accept and this is what I will not. A man who truly respects you will honor your boundaries automatically, but a man who is wrong for you, he will test every single one of them. And if you don't have them, he will walk all over you. That's just the truth. A wrong man is drawn to women who don't know how to say no, women who fear confrontation, women who constantly compromise their needs to keep someone else happy. When you don't set limits, you are essentially inviting men who aren't built to give respect into your life. Think about it. How many times have you stayed silent when a man crossed the line because you didn't want to rock the boat? How many times have you accepted behavior that made you uncomfortable because you didn't want to lose him? That's not love. That's fear. That's a lack of boundaries at work. And I'm telling you, a man who respects himself and others will never push past a woman's boundaries. He knows where he stands. He knows where you stand. But the wrong man, he sees your unclear limits as an opportunity. He sees your indecision as a chance to manipulate, to test, and to control. That's why you keep attracting the same type of man over and over, because you haven't defined where your line is. Boundaries are not just about saying no to someone else. They're about saying yes to yourself. They're about protecting your heart, your time, and your energy. When you don't have boundaries, you are basically telling every man you meet, you can have as much of me as you want, even if you don't deserve it. And guess what? They will take it. That's the danger of being boundaryless. The wrong man doesn't want a woman who stands up for herself because that requires effort. He wants a woman who will give without hesitation, who will forgive without question, who will love without regard for her own needs. And until you change that, until you draw your line and hold it firm, you're going to keep repeating the same heartbreaks. Now, let me tell you what happens when you finally get boundaries right. When you know your worth, when you set limits on what you will tolerate, and when you stick to them, the wrong man doesn't stick around. He can't. Boundaries act like a filter. They allow only the men who are capable of respecting and loving you fully to pass through. The right man will look at your boundaries and say, finally a woman who knows herself. Finally, a woman I can cherish and honor without question. And here's the key. Boundaries don't make you difficult. They make you powerful. They make you irresistible to the right man because they show that you value yourself enough not to settle. A woman with boundaries doesn't bend to every whim, doesn't excuse bad behavior, and doesn't allow disrespect to slide. She knows that her time, her energy, and her heart are precious commodities. And when she finally stands firm, the wrong man either learns to respect her or he moves on. And moving on is exactly what you want because it clears space for the man who is worthy, the man who can match her energy, and the man who can truly give her the love she deserves. The lesson is simple. Boundaries aren't optional, they're essential. The moment you create them, the wrong men stop knocking on your door and the right man finally finds his way in. Let me tell you something real. One of the biggest reasons you keep attracting the wrong man is that deep down, you still doubt your worth. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I mean it as the truth you've got to face. A wrong man can sense it. He can smell insecurity from a mile away. He doesn't want a confident woman who knows what she deserves. He wants someone who second guesses herself, someone who worries if she's good enough, someone who needs constant reassurance to feel validated. That is a magnet for the wrong type of man because he doesn't want to give, he wants to take. He doesn't want to love fully. He wants to manipulate partially. And until you heal your self-doubt, you're going to keep showing up in the same pattern, attracting men who don't match your energy or your heart. Think about it for a second. How many times have you stayed with a man who didn't treat you right because you thought, maybe I can change him, or maybe this is all I deserve? That's not love. That's a direct reflection of your own doubts about your worth. The wrong man is not challenging himself to rise. He's looking for someone who won't challenge him at all. He wants a woman who will tolerate, excuse, and lower her standards. That's why he stays so long in your life without giving what you truly need. And until you fix that doubt, until you fully heal the parts of you that feel unworthy, he will keep coming, and the right man will keep passing you by because he knows you're not ready for the love he can give. Healing your self-worth doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you suddenly become immune to mistakes or heartbreak. Healing means you stop seeking validation from men who can't see your value. Healing means you start seeing your worth for yourself and not hoping someone else will tell you. Healing means you learn to enjoy your own company, to love your own energy, and to demand respect without begging for it. The wrong man doesn't want a woman who can do that because she will no longer be an easy target. The wrong man thrives on insecurities, but the right man is looking for someone who is whole, someone who has her own life, someone who knows her worth and refuses to settle for less. Now, here's the thing, self-doubt doesn't go away overnight. It's not like you can flip a switch and suddenly feel worthy of love. It takes intentional work. It takes recognizing the patterns that led you to accept less than you deserve. It takes forgiveness of yourself, of the past, of the men who hurt you, and it takes practice. You have to practice standing up for yourself, saying no when it doesn't feel right, and choosing your happiness over temporary comfort. Because the moment you start showing up as a woman who truly believes in her own worth, the wrong men will feel uncomfortable. They won't know how to handle a woman who won't settle. And that's exactly what you want. The right man, on the other hand, will be drawn to your strength. He will see your confidence as a sign that you're ready for real love. He won't try to test you or manipulate you. He will meet you where you are and rise to your energy. But that can only happen after you heal your doubts and embrace your worth. So stop blaming the men you attract. Stop wondering why you keep choosing the wrong ones. Look inside, do the work, heal, and watch how the universe stops sending you men who are unworthy and starts sending the ones who can truly match your heart, your energy, and your life. Let me be honest with you, because this is something I see over and over again. One of the biggest mistakes women make is giving their heart, their energy, their time, and their love to men who haven't even earned it. You know what I'm talking about. You're cooking, cleaning, texting, calling, supporting, forgiving, and putting in wife-level effort for a man who hasn't even committed to being a man in your life. And then you sit there wondering why he doesn't appreciate you, why he doesn't value you, and why you keep attracting the wrong man. Baby, let me tell you, this is the problem. The wrong man doesn't need your effort. He needs your access. And every time you give it to him too early, every time you give it to him without him proving himself, you teach him that he doesn't have to show up, and you teach yourself that it's okay to settle. Think about it. How many times have you been in a situation where you were the one making all the plans, sending all the messages, keeping all the conversations alive, and basically running the relationship alone while he does the bare minimum or nothing at all? That's not love. That's an imbalance. And it happens because a lot of women don't set boundaries around their love. They think that showing effort equals winning a man's heart. No, effort is earned. Loyalty is earned. Respect is earned. And giving someone your all before they've proven themselves is like handing them the keys to your kingdom before they even know how to open the door. The wrong man doesn't want to earn your heart because he doesn't know how. He doesn't want to show up consistently. He doesn't want to fight for you, and he doesn't want to meet your energy. He wants you to do all the work to carry the relationship on your back and to convince him that he should care. And if you keep doing that, guess what? You will continue attracting the wrong type of man because you are training him to stay lazy in love. You are telling him, I'll handle it, I'll fix it, I'll make it work. And the wrong man loves that. He loves it because he doesn't have to be real, and you don't have to protect your heart. Now, a wise woman learns to stop. A wise woman learns that her energy is valuable. A wise woman understands that love is not a one-sided effort, and she refuses to give wife-level love to a man who isn't qualified to be her husband, a man who hasn't earned her trust, a man who isn't willing to invest equally. That doesn't make you cold. It makes you smart. That doesn't make you difficult. It makes you strong. When you start demanding reciprocity, when you stop overgiving to someone who hasn't shown you that they deserve it, the wrong man will either step up or walk away. And that's exactly what you want. The right man, the man who is truly built to love you, will match your energy. He will show up for you. He will prove himself consistent. He will earn your trust and your heart without you having to beg, convince, or overextend yourself. And once you stop giving the wrong man what he doesn't deserve, space opens for the right man to step into your life. He will see a woman who knows her worth, a woman who protects her heart, a woman who doesn't settle, and he will rise to meet her fully. So, here's the lesson. Your love is precious. Your effort is valuable. Stop handing it out to men who haven't proven themselves. Stop giving wife-level effort to men who don't even qualify for a second date in your heart. Hold back until he shows up fully. Hold back until he proves himself worthy. Because when you do, you'll stop attracting the wrong men, and the right man will finally find his way to you. Let me tell you something that most women don't get, and it's simple, but it's powerful. The moment you truly know your worth, the wrong man won't even be able to come near you. I mean it. He won't have the energy, the courage, or the audacity to try to play games with you. See, the wrong man thrives on insecurity. He thrives on self-doubt. He thrives on women who will tolerate his behavior, who will bend over backwards to get a little attention, who will convince themselves that they're lucky to get scraps of affection. But the moment you recognize your value, the moment you stand in your power, the moment you refuse to settle for less than you deserve, the wrong man can't compete. He can't handle it. And that's exactly what you want. When you know your worth, you start to recognize the difference between a man who loves you and a man who just likes the idea of you. You stop confusing charm with commitment. You stop confusing attention with affection. You stop giving yourself to anyone who isn't ready to give fully in return. Because the truth is, a wrong man doesn't see a woman who knows her worth as an opportunity. He sees her as a challenge, and challenges make him uncomfortable. He'll leave or he'll back off because he knows he can't manipulate, he can't control, and he certainly can't take advantage of someone who refuses to settle. That's why knowing your worth is not just about self-love, it's about self-protection. It's about making sure your heart is only available to men who can handle it. Think about it like this. Every time you attract the wrong man, it's because somewhere deep down you allowed him in. You let your standards slide. You excused behavior that should have been unacceptable. You gave access to someone who hadn't earned it. But when you know your worth, that doesn't happen. You hold your space. You protect your time. You guard your energy. And the wrong man, he just doesn't fit into that space because he wasn't built to meet that level of respect, that level of love, or that level of commitment. And here's the beautiful thing. The moment you start valuing yourself, the right man can find you. He's out there. He's been looking for a woman who won't settle, who knows her worth, and who expects the love she deserves. He's the man who will show up consistently, who will honor your boundaries, who will match your effort, who will rise to your energy. He doesn't need to be taught how to love. He already knows. He doesn't need reminders. He already respects. And he doesn't need instructions. He already values what you bring to his life. Knowing your worth acts like a filter a magnet, and a signal all at the same time. It filters out the wrong men, it attracts the right ones, and it signals to the universe that you are ready for a love that matches your heart. Stop settling for less. Stop explaining your worth to people who can't see it. Stop trying to change men who aren't capable of rising to your level. Stand tall, love yourself deeply, and hold your boundaries firm. Because the moment you do, you won't have to chase love anymore. The wrong men will be too uncomfortable to stay, and the right man will step in naturally, effortlessly, and completely. And when that happens, you will finally understand that everything you've been through, the heartbreak, the wrong choices, the lessons, was preparing you for the kind of love you truly deserve.